Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to the first installation of our DRM webinars. Today we're going to be talking about choosing a presentation style and writing an abstract for the Congress. The tips and the hints that you will find in this webinar will apply to most conferences, but we are specifically promoting the 25th anniversary Psychological Society of South Africa's conference that's going to be happening in September at Emperor's Palace in Johannesburg. Our division is a part of the society and we promote research and methods development in South Africa. My name is Lynn Hendricks. I am the chairperson for the Division of Research and Methodology for the SAISA Society. I lecture by day, I read a lot by night, and I like to paint, I like to spend time with family, but I also like to work with students, and part of our DRM activities are to mentor students, junior researchers, and to assist people where we can with their research, with promoting dissemination of the research, and helping them think around new research topics. So you might have joined the webinar today because you would like to submit a conference abstract. You're not sure how to write the abstract, or you're not sure which parts fit exactly into the paragraph. You want to present at conference, you know how to write the abstract, but you're unsure as to how you're going to present it. Or maybe you just like to know a little bit more about the abstract submission process to the SAISA Congress. So we are going to try to cover those 5 areas very briefly. As a follow-up to this webinar, we will be hosting an online chat, which we will promote on our social media platforms. You can find more information on our Facebook page. Just search Division for Research and Methodology on Facebook, and I promise you will find our page. So let's start with what a conference abstract is all about. So feel free to type your comments in the text message box below on what you think a conference abstract is. For those of you that are watching the recording, feel free to write down what you think a conference abstract is. Write down keywords, anything that comes to mind. So if you thought a conference abstract was an abstract painting, they are kind of similar in that you are trying to summarize your entire research project, whether it took you 2 years, 5 years, 2 months, or was your PhD that took 8 years, into 200 to 300 words. It's how artists try to tell the story in one canvas painting. And it might seem like an impossible task. How do I summarize everything into 200 to 300 words? We like to think of your abstracts as elevator pitches. So you're in an elevator with somebody. Can you tell them before they reach the next floor what your research study is about? I suggest you try that at home. An abstract is a short document that is intended to capture the interest of a potential reader or listener of your paper. You want to make sure that when somebody reads your abstract, and especially when you're submitting to a conference, when a reviewer reads your abstract, they can surmise what your project was about, what you found, why this is significant, and why it's important to share your research at the conference. So there are many other benefits to presenting at the conference, because lots of times students want to know, but why do I have to present my paper at the conference? I finished the research. Isn't it enough that I slaved and I cried blood, sweat and tears of text onto my computer? No, it's important to share also what you found. So when we present at the conference, you have a chance to contribute to and learn about advances in your field. It's the best place for you to network with other researchers who have similar interests. You might meet people that attend your presentation, and they are attending your presentation because your topic is interesting to them. And you will also meet people of presentations that you attended yourself because the topic was interesting to you. Often I attend conferences and I learn something brand new almost in every single presentation I attend. And I learn something I didn't know before, or I see research from a new perspective that I hadn't thought of before. And it's important for you as an emerging researcher and as a senior researcher in your field to constantly contribute to your field of study. Presenting at a conference is also important for your professional development and growth. These do count as professional activities when you present at local and international conferences, but they also help you to talk about your research, and you constantly learn how to speak about data. Sometimes we get so passionate about our research and what we are doing that we forget that other people might not be as passionate about the same topic as we are. One, the conference will help you find those other passionate people in your area. Two, it will teach you how to talk about your research so that other people can become passionate about your topic. Conferences are excellent networking opportunities and excellent professional growth opportunities. When you search any conference online, they're going to say that they have different submission styles that you can select when you want to join as a presenter. And choosing between those styles do take a little bit of thought. You don't just randomly select them. You decide on your conference style based on the aim of your presentation. So these are the 4 main conference styles that are offered at most congresses. Other conferences may have additional styles, but because we are focused on the CISA conference, these are the 4 submission styles you can choose from. They are oral presentations, poster presentations, symposiums, or roundtable discussions. We will briefly talk through each of them, and let's see if any of those pique your interest. So most students who are first-time presenters would choose either a poster presentation or oral presentation. A poster presentation is submitted, and all of these have the same abstracts. But when you present a poster, you don't physically have to stand at your poster for the 3 or 4 days of the conference. The posters are put up around the conference, and your poster contains information related to your study. They are very extra large size A0 posters. They are designed to capture the audience's attention, and they can be read in 5 minutes maximum. You would choose a poster presentation if this is your first conference. If you have something to say, perhaps you really struggle with public speaking, that shouldn't stop you from disseminating your research, then a poster presentation might be really helpful for you. Other people select poster presentations when they want to graphically display their findings, and it's easier to show it through diagrams. Or you can use a poster presentation as an add-on to your oral presentation. So perhaps your research study has 2 components, and you could present one in a poster and the other through oral presentation. Our oral presentation usually takes the form of 10 to 15 minute where the 10 to 15 minute pieces where the presenter gets to speak, and then the floor opens up for questions. An oral presentation is most useful when you're trying to elicit feedback from the audience. So you might have a new research idea or concept, or perhaps you are experimenting with a new research design. Perhaps you are conceptualizing a new theoretical framework, or perhaps you are busy with a population group that is very interesting and you would like to hear other people's experiences. Then an oral presentation would be the correct platform for you. Again, your presentation is an expanded view of the abstract that you are submitting. And we will, in a few minutes, get to the sections within the abstract that you could also use in your oral presentation. A symposium is a longer type presentation where you have one person chairing the symposium and you have 4 presenters on average also presenting oral presentations around the same topics. So you might choose as a researcher to showcase a type of research method, or you would want to showcase a research topic, and you find other colleagues, students, and other practitioners who are working around similar interests, and you put together one application for a symposium that contains all the presentations together. A roundtable discussion is also a longer timed presentation, and in a roundtable discussion you discuss issues that are relevant and issues that may come up within the area of research that you are studying. You normally have a discussant and you have 3 or 4 other oral presentations that happen in this discussion, and then the presenters each have a chance to respond to the questions posed by the discussant. As a first-time presenter, I would advise you to choose either the oral or the poster presentation if you are presenting alone. Sometimes researchers will invite students to be part of a roundtable discussion or a symposium, and with the guidance of another person, I think as a first-time presenter, you would be able to participate in the discussions or the symposiums. But these are your 4 main types. Posters are for things better represented visually. Orals are for paper presentations where you are trying to elicit feedback from others. Symposiums are for multiple papers around the same topic. And roundtable discussions are for presenters to discuss a relevant topic or a topic of interest to the Congress. So once you have chosen your presentation style because you understand the purpose for each, it's then to formulate the abstract that goes with your selected style of presentation. Now all of these abstracts have the same components, but before you get there, you need to think about these 4 things. You have to know who your audience is. So when we think the CISA Congress, we are thinking about a group of psychologists working in varying fields in psychology, and you want to make sure that your frame and how you frame your abstract is targeted towards a psychology community. You want to invest the time. It's really important to write and rewrite your abstract and have it reviewed by other people. So the DRM does support students who are submitting abstracts and junior researchers who are submitting abstracts to the Congress. At the end of this presentation, you will see our email address. You are more than welcome to email us and ask us for some support with checking your abstracts before submission. Make sure your abstract can be done in an elevator pitch. It's short, it's concise, and it's coherent. And remember that your abstract is a summary of your project, but it also acknowledges all authors of the research project. So if your students submitting your abstract, make sure that you get the buy-in of your supervisors that have worked with you and that they are mentioned as authors on the abstracts. If it is a part of your master's or your PhD or your honors, you are always the first author unless this is somebody else's project that you are presenting. So let's get back to the parts of the abstract. This is a formula that has stood the test of time when it comes to abstract submission. For those of you that have published, you will recognize that these are the same headings you would use in an abstract for your journal article submission. Your title of your abstract is so important to the reviewer. Remember, the reviewer is reviewing multiple abstracts for the Congress. If you think about a Congress that has 2,000 people attending and it has over 600 presentations, that means that there were hundreds more abstracts that were rejected. And for those 600s to be successful, the title of your abstract is so important. It needs to be short, it needs to be captivating, and it needs to spark the interest of the reviewer. Your introduction and all of these sections that you see on the screen, the introduction, the research significance, the methods, the results, the discussion, your formatting rules, all of those are just 2 or 3 sentences as sections. So your introduction is no more than 2 sentences, which means that you need to choose your 2 best sentences out of the introduction of your paper or out of your research project. It needs to contain the relevant information, it needs to state the problem, and it needs to frame where the reviewer should be focused on. If your topic is around HIV, then your first part of your introduction would talk about the state of HIV, how many people have HIV, and zero in on the region that you are focused on. Your next 2 lines will be about the research significance. So what makes this study important? Why is this study important to share at the Congress with other people? Then we move to your methods. Your methods is generally a bit longer, so it's about 4 sentences. But in your methods, you have information around the design of your study, the sampling strategy, you have information around the number of participants, and you have information around any instruments you may have used. Okay, if you look at your research paper and you look at your methods section, and in your methods section you have those subheadings for sample, design, instruments, procedure, and that's for a quantitative study, and data collection tools. Those are the same things that have to be mentioned in your methods section. So it's like you are selecting the terms from your paper and trying to wrap them all up into a 3-sentence little paragraph. Your results, you are not going to be able to represent all of your results in your abstract. You are going to select the best ones, meaning those ones that call on the attention of the reviewer, but you are not going to leave out ones that you consider are bad findings, because there are no such thing as bad findings. All findings are a finding, but in your abstract, you are highlighting the ones that pull the attention of the reader. In your oral, you can speak to all of the other results. Here you are broadly mentioning what you found. And in your discussion, again, 2 sentences, the implications for research and for practice. Okay, again, the discussion is linked to the research significance section, but if you add up all of those sentences, you're looking at about 15 to 20 sentences. You want to make sure that you stick to the formatting rules and SAIS's website contains the rules for abstract submission. If you put all of those together, you are working towards having a winning abstract for submission. So now you've chosen your presentation style, you've written your draft abstract and sent it around to your author team, you've gotten a review comments, you have attended to the review comments, you've made sure that it fits the 200 to 300 words, you made sure that it fits all the components of a winning abstract, and now you are ready to submit it to the Congress. The website displayed is www.saisa.com, and you can follow the link for the Congress. When you get to the landing page for SAIS's Congress, which is the 3rd to the 6th of September 2019, excuse me, there are guidelines for your abstract submission which walk you through the smaller parts of the abstract submission process. If you follow the link, fill in your email address, and fill in the other details, you would have successfully submitted your abstract submission. The deadline for abstract submissions are the 31st of March 2019, which is 2 weeks away. So please get writing. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Remember that an effective abstract tells the audience exactly what to expect by presenting the highlights of the entire paper or talk. An effective abstract is clear, concise, and compelling. And your abstract recipe, meaning title, significance, methods, results, discussion, it's scalable. It works equally well for your 2-page executive summaries, and it works equally well for your presentations that you do at the Congress. Thank you for listening. We're now going to open up for any questions that you may have about the abstract submission process and choosing a conference presentation style.